Okay. If
So
you
I'll
could
just, yeah, I'll just start again regarding our Pathways to Prosperity work, because I think that has the greatest deal of relevancy with what we're talking about today. And then really our work that we're looking to expand into Cochise County with, particularly around what Jacqui and I talked about a few weeks ago, the Arizona Department of Education, the ESSER 3 grant that we were awarded here in the spring that is allowing all of this to happen. So Arizona Pathways to Prosperity, it's an initiative led by the Center for the Future of Arizona. We have led the work for just over 7 years now, really at the request of the governor's office. So we're fortunate to be supported by the governor's office for the last 7 years through a grant. And really, through the governor's office, we lead the Pathways to Prosperity work statewide and on behalf of the state. And what that really means is Arizona is a part of a national network of states and regions led by an organization called JFF, formerly known as Jobs for the Future, which is a nonprofit based out of Boston, who's been doing work in early college career pathways and workforce development for just about 40 years, extremely well respected. And part of that work is with this network of states and regions, all working on career pathways systems. It really affords Arizona the opportunity to get expertise from the field and bring technical assistance to Arizona, as well as bring innovative practices. So over the past 7 years, we've been working to bring innovations in career exploration and guidance, early college programs of study, and work-based learning. Those are the 3 key elements of the Pathways framework. And they start as early as middle school, so 6th grade, and really go up to 14 plus. Now, having said that, Maya's going to have a chance to talk a little bit about our ADE ESSER grant and our work at in career exploration. And we're really excited that as part of our ESSER grant, we're going to be able to expand our career exploration content, resources, and curriculum down to kindergarten. So we'll have K-5 curriculum, our middle school curriculum that Maya's going to talk about, that's 6th grade really through 10th grade, middle grades, for career exploration. That's really to help young people start to learn about the modern labor market, start to navigate that, learn about their own skills, abilities, and how they need to position themselves as far as their educational pathway to get to those high demand careers. And then the second element, early college programs of study, are really just that. We work with our industry partners to identify the high demand skills and credentials. Then with our community college partners, make sure that the pathways exist to those, and then bring those back into the high school through an early college model. So students earning college credits in high school, students earning industry credentials in high school. We've done quite a bit of work in IT and cybersecurity, healthcare, also in advanced manufacturing in those particular areas. And so work with our high schools to help really build out those pathways. And then lastly, work-based learning. So how are students starting to explore the world of work through job shadows, virtual career days, internships, and actually we have been working with a firm in Phoenix called Kudelski on a youth apprenticeship. So we have a full-blown registered youth apprenticeship program in Phoenix where students start in their junior year of high school and spend 4 years in an apprenticeship program. So by the time they graduate with their associate's degree and on to 4-year, they've had 4 years of an apprenticeship, which we're really excited about and looking to expand. And so that's sort of in a nutshell the work that we're doing. And through the ADE ESSER grant, essentially what it provides the resources for us to be able to do is really expand our pathways work statewide. We'd like to say we're working statewide, and we are. We're working, in Yuma and some dabbling in northern Arizona, certainly in Pima County and Maricopa County. I'm based in Tucson. So we have work across the state. But what this really does is really gets to the core of our mission, which is work with communities. And so with the ADE ESSER grant, we're going to be hiring a regional coordinator in Southeast Arizona, a regional project manager, to really help move this work forward, help bring the regional assets together into these seamless career pathways systems. So we're really excited about really expanding our work into Cochise County and having a presence there that is really meaningful and someone really embedded in the community that can really make a difference. Mm-hmm. The ADE ESSER grant, it's a $5.1 million grant over the next 2.5 years or so. And in addition to project managers, we also have funding within the grant to support the expansion of our middle grades career exploration work, develop the K-5 curriculum, but also within that, providing resources within the region to support those career pathways, opportunities, stipends for educators to participate in externships, getting out into industry, opportunities and stipends for students to participate in internships as well. So lots to unpack, and that's why we felt that part of it, in order to be successful, was to have somebody within the region really helping to navigate all that work and really make sure that the resources are being best utilized and best distributed. It's hard to, for me to manage that as close as I am to Cochise County. Still, to have someone that's embedded in there is really critical. So that's a little bit about our pathways work, the center, what we're hoping to accomplish. Not just in the next 2.5 years. What we really hope is that the grant will help really launch our work, and then we would continue to work with the region to identify funding sources to keep the work moving forward. So with that, that's a little bit about me, the center, our pathways work. Would love to have my colleague Maya introduce herself, and then Ben, you as well. And Jacqui, of course, because Maya hasn't had the chance to meet you, I don't believe. And then we can sort of turn it back to Maya to provide a bit of a demonstration on the Possible Futures curriculum. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Thanks, Erin. So my name is Maya Watts. My background is originally in special education in the Phoenix School District, elementary school district, and I have been working with CFA and the Pathways to Prosperity team for a few years now, specifically in the career exploration side of things, and the Possible Futures curriculum is a big part of that. I'm your person when it comes to training teachers and supporting in developing programs using the curriculum. I've also been very involved in the development of MyFutureAZ, and so it's been really nice to be able to draw a lot of parallels between the curriculum and the platform to make sure that those align for teachers and students. So that's a little bit about me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Ben, you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Okay. So my name is Ben Reyna, and as Superintendent Clay mentioned, I am the principal of New Crossroads Academy, which I got to have a hand in helping establish as Superintendent Clay's former outreach coordinator. I actually come from a science education background in the 7 to 12 space. And I'm really excited to bring another strong resource to our students, and especially our kids who don't see a lot of hope sometimes for careers and advancement. Making it real for them, I think, is going to be really important, and I'm really glad for it.
And of course, my name is Jacqui Clay. I'm the County Superintendent of Schools for Cochise County.
Awesome. Great to meet both of you. I'll just go ahead and share my screen and jump into the demo for you guys. Just to give you an idea of the flow, I'm going to start off with a slide deck, talk about MyFutureAZ, and then I'll jump into the platform itself to show you some of the features there, and then return to the slide deck to talk a little bit more about education and career action plans and how MyFutureAZ and the Possible Futures curriculum really work together to make that possible. All right. And please feel free to jump in if you have any questions. I've got some kind of new slides in here, so I'm excited to show them off. But yeah, I'll go ahead and get started. I'll start off but just by mentioning that MyFutureAZ is a platform that was commissioned by the Arizona Department of Ed, but fortunately, Center for the Future of Arizona and our partners at ABEC, Arizona Business and Education Coalition, got involved very early in the process and were able to make sure that the platform was would be available in middle school as well. So we were able to support with some funding and have been part of that design process, which has been really helpful for just the development of a really solid tool. So what is MyFutureAZ? It's a career planning and exploration platform. So it uses some skill mapping technology, algorithms from the data that students provide in an interest assessment and also on their profile. And so it uses all of that data to really connect students with information and opportunities that align with their interests when it comes to their future career. It is the state replacement tool, the ECAP replacement tool for AZCIS. So schools have been using that previously. You might be familiar with that, Ben, from the classroom. It was very widely used. And so this is the new free version that's available to all schools in Arizona. And one of the great things about this is that it was actually designed for Arizona with Arizona in mind. So every step of the way, it's very personalized for our communities. So here's just real high level how it works, what you can do there. Students right away are asked to take a career assessment. So it measures their interests, asks some questions about like the type of work they'd like to do, things that they find interesting. And then they're asked to explore careers. So they can explore at the industry level and also at specific career levels to kind of get an idea about what's out there and what it takes to get yourself into one of these careers. Students can create a post-secondary plan, so an after high school plan on how to achieve that career goal. They also can document their careers and actually develop their 4-year plan for high school within the platform.
Just like AZCIS.
Yeah, hopefully a little bit better than AZCIS was. So just real quick, there are 4 different user types for MyFutureAZ. It starts out with a school administrator. And so the way that you onboard onto MyFutureAZ is by school. You don't have to do it at the district level. You can go school by school. So you start off with that administrator's account, and then you can create educators. And once you've created educators, then students can create accounts, and students actually create their accounts themselves. So that's pretty easy. And then students can invite parents to also be a part of this platform to sign off on that ECAP. So education and career action plans require that parent sign off. And this is one way to incorporate the parents. So how to get started with these different accounts? You start with that administrator account, and you can reach out to Amanda Nolasco at ADE to get that set up. Once that happens, you're really good to go from there. You can create an educator, and once you've created at least one, then your students can create their accounts. They can begin registering, and when they register, they will automatically be attached to your school because that's part of the registration process. They have to put their school in. And from there, students can invite parents and guardians. So I'll show you what that looks like in the platform.
I have a question.
Perfect.
What if a student, like for example, if we put this on our website, what if a student wants to do it on their own without the school? They should be able to do that, right? And then they share their account with the school and move forward, right?
Yeah, so that is something that you can do. Students can create accounts without attaching themselves to a school. They can just select, let's see. So this is the registration page, and we'll go through it. So it's very simple information, name, email. If you're gonna do this with the school, I would recommend using school emails. Mm-hmm. They're asked to put in passwords, zip code, but then down here is where they put in their school. So let's see. The New Crossroads, for example.
There it is right there.
Perfect. There it is. So I'd be able to select it right there. But if I didn't want to, I could also select homeschool or no school
Great. We
affiliation.
needed that. Okay. So they can, it's, okay, let me just put that.
So if you register with no school affiliation, the hiccup that you might encounter is that if you want to have case managers, you wouldn't be able to then attach the case managers to the students. So using the school makes that part a little bit easier. But you can still get the full functionality of the platform without being attached to a school. From the student perspective anyways.
This is good because this is how we're going. We like to always not just promote things to the teachers, we do it to the whole community. Our community is very, very smart and they want this information and they would like to try things out themselves. So this would be perfect.
Awesome.
They all have to live in Arizona, right? And that's one thing, right?
Yeah, I guess I don't know if it would let you create an account without an Arizona zip code. I've never tried.
Not sure that it wouldn't, but the idea is yes, in Arizona.
And what I love about this, because we're going to promote this on our website, we have a very large homeschool group, and we have all of their emails. Okay, so we would like to put this information up and ensure that we have a POC, unless New Crossroads would be the POC just to help them with any type of technical questions, et cetera, et cetera. But I have a feeling that we will have some students, homeschool students, doing this.
Awesome. I love to hear that. That's so cool. And the great thing with those homeschool students is they'll still be able to, add their parent or guardian, and that parent or guardian account has a lot of the same visibility that an educator account does, that case manager account. So I guess typically homeschooling, the teacher is usually the parent, but I guess it can be really unique, right? So that's why I was making that connection, is that you still have that visibility into the student's account without a case manager if you have the parent. Awesome. All right, well, I'm going to log us in. I can show us either a middle school or a high school account. Do you guys have a preference?
High school.
High school.
Because we have majority high school.
Awesome. All right. As I'm logging into the high school account, I will add that there are, part of this process has been that ADE really wanted to provide this resource to communities immediately. And so many of the features are being rolled out in this iterative process where, every couple of months or so, we're getting like some updates, some newer features that are available. And so this dashboard right here is one thing that will be updated very soon. They're working on some user experience type things. So like just kind of reformatting the way that the information is presented so it's more visually appealing to the young person. Young people like to scroll, and so we're kind of going for that sort of a feel, right? All right, so right here on the student's dashboard, the first thing that students are asked to do is take an assessment. There's these ECAP tasks. These are all of the tasks that they can do in the platform that align with their education and career action planning process. So first step is to take an assessment. So I'll just show you guys what that looks like. This account's already taken the assessment. So I'm just going to show you really quick what the quiz looks like and then back out of it. So it's a series of about 25 questions where students respond on a Likert scale from dislike to like very much about different things related to careers. But I'm just going to pop in and show you the results from this account. So after I finish my assessment, I have the option to download it in case there's any documentation that my school wants to do or something like that, a program that I'm a part of. I can export the results right there. But then also,
another question. Okay, so now what I'm thinking, we have students that are in the jail because we also have our jail students. So we can download that quiz if we don't want them to. We have computers though, but that right there, they can actually download it and maybe write the answers and then later come back and put the answers in the computer?
Well, so this PDF will have my answers in it. So it's
Okay.
already answered. It's the
Got it.
results.
Understood.
Um,
That's awesome.
okay. So the first thing that I'm prompted to do is to explore industries. It really starts with the high level. These are the industries that align with my responses in the quiz. I'm able to favorite them if I'm particularly interested. So they're pinned to my my dashboard so that I can come back to them very quickly. Favoriting things also informs the, the algorithms, right? Based on what they'll present for me later. And then I can scroll down to careers. So I think it produces 60 careers per results. And it starts with top careers. Top careers are going to be careers that are fast growing and higher wage. And there are the best match. So those are the things to take into consideration for top careers. All careers are based on just the results of my assessments. They don't take into consideration as much of the labor market information. Whoops. All right. And then again, I'm able to save careers right here to my profile using that little heart option. So I'm just going to hop in and show you the a career really quick to give you an idea of what kind of information your students have access to on this platform. So it's got a good one-liner about what this career does. And then it starts off with, what every kid asks first. How much money am I going to make doing this? It's very visually appealing, easy to understand. We've got both the, the annual salary, but also that hourly wage, which can be a lot more relatable. We've got an idea of how many jobs are available right now in the state of Arizona. Next, there's almost 700 jobs available and projected through 2024. This is obviously a career that is fast growing. So if I choose to pursue this, I can almost guarantee that there's going to be a job open when I'm ready. We've got some information here about sample career roadmaps. So these are going to be education programs that can help me achieve this career. They've got anywhere from certificate programs, 2-year programs, 4-year programs, and all of these are based in the state of Arizona. This is another really interesting thing for students to look at, which is actually, the tasks that these people do every day in their career. You get an idea of what day-to-day looks like in this job. There's also this section about knowledge, skills, and abilities, that are needed for this specific career. And then finally, one of the neatest features, I think, is real live job openings. So students, if they're just really invested in one of these careers, they can start to get an idea about what kind of companies out there are hiring people in this area and what kind of requirements they have and what those jobs really look like when it comes to applying. All right. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you is the student profile. So what I just showed you is a lot of the exploration that students can do. The other part of this is there's a lot of preparation that they can do for their post-secondary experiences. And this profile right here, it's very reminiscent of what you might put into, say, like a LinkedIn profile, minus all of the social media components. Students are asked to give their basic information about what kind of job they want, their location. And then they're able to document what they're doing to pursue this, pursue their future career. So they can put in things like employment history, their education, the schools that they've gone to. This document library can be really great for uploading certificates of achievement. Oftentimes, those are kind of just handed out as a piece of paper. So this is a great place to put it so that it's saved for the student. And then the other thing that they can do is start to document the skills that they have related to careers. And this will help with the algorithm that promotes those suggestions for them, right? So when they start to select some of the skills that they have, they'll start to get even better results suggested to them. All right, certificates, awards, volunteer experience. These are just some other examples of things, extracurricular activities and academic achievements. Yep, awesome. So what's really great about putting all of this information in here is, one, it's all in one location so that students can go back to it and use it for whatever application that they might be doing, a job application, a post-secondary institution application. But also they can export their very first resume. So just by clicking this download resume button, it'll actually auto create a resume that is really pretty nice looking for a young person. And I can pull that up for you guys really quick if you're interested.
That'd be great. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got, just a very basic resume, but for a young person, this is a lot of information to have put together for them without very much heavy lifting. Resume writing is one of those things that it doesn't really matter where you are in your career. It's kind of intimidating and overwhelming. Awesome. All right, so that's the student's profile. I'm going to hop over to the case manager. Actually, I forgot one thing. I'm going to show you one more thing before I hop over to the case manager. I'm going to go back to my dashboard, and I just wanted to show you some features like the post-secondary goals. So, part of education and career action planning is identifying those specific goals. And so students do input that information in here. They're prompted to respond to several questions, whether it's, getting into a certificate program, straight into a job, 4-year degree, or armed forces. They've got all those options there to respond to. And then right here is our invite parent or guardian button. Super easy. Just put in their email. They'll be sent an email and asked to set up an account. And once that account is set up, they'll automatically be linked to their child or student. Awesome. All right, that's everything on the student's account. Oops. And then I'm just going to show you quickly some of the features on the case manager's account. The case manager has a lot of the same functions when it comes to that profile. You can build up your own profile kind of as a model to show students what kind of information goes in there. But this case manager profile is going to be really great for monitoring students. So you can see I've got my 3 demo students here, and I have some great information right off the bat about what they're doing. I can see when the last time they logged in was, how many times they've been getting into their account, how complete their profile is, whether or not they've taken their assessment. And there's other indicators that I can add to this as well. And I had mentioned earlier about, those updates with this platform. There are other indicators that are not coming to me at this exact moment, but I know that are going to be added to this matrix here. So more to come. But so as a case manager, I can send group messages or individual messages. It's really easy to do a group one. I just select the students I want to send my message to. If maybe I don't case manage all of these students, not all of them are on my roster, I share them with another teacher. I can unstar them just to make sure that my students pop up first. I can see the results of their assessment, send them a private message, but I can also get into their account and take a look at their case history, which can be really important for making sure that there is, safety online, right? We want to make sure we can see what students are doing, what kind of information they're putting in here. So I can see into everything that my student is doing. Right here, I can click on their profile, see everything that they have listed here in their profile, and I can actually edit it too. So if maybe a student has put something inappropriate, I could change it. But also if I've got a student who maybe needs some more support, and having an adult there to kind of guide them is necessary, I can actually go in and add information for my student on their behalf. So this is the case history. I can see everything that Erica counselor has done. And it's just like a running record of everything she's ever done on her account. I can see any files she's uploaded, and I can also look at her goals, make sure that those align with what she's telling me, that kind of thing. Awesome. All right, so that is what I wanted to show you on the platform. So I'm going to go back to my slide deck to show you a little bit more about career exploration resources. Do you guys have any questions about MyFutureAZ before I move on?
I have another question. If I'm a student and I'm unaffiliated, okay, I'm going to use my personal email. It shouldn't be hard that once a school gets on board, okay, for example, you have some schools that actually teach career explorations and future focus, which satisfies that ECAP, the first part of ECAP. Is it easy for them to just go into their account and change it with a school email? Is that going to be an issue? Changing email accounts?
No, I don't think so. So what students can do is they can actually go in and change their email at any time,
Okay.
the email that's associated. And that would, I don't believe that that would automatically tie them to their school, but that is a conversation that's like very recently just been had in the development team. And so I'm like, we're calling the conversations to try and get you the right answer. What students will be prompted to like verify their grade and school every single year. So that's one place
That's good. That's good.
where they're going to be updating what grade they're in and what school they're going to. And so if they had registered, if they register with the account or with the platform this year and their high school doesn't get on board until next year, they will be prompted to say what school they belong to, and they can put their school in when they log in at that point.
Okay, another question. Middle school, what grades does that start? Is it 7 or 6?
I want to say that part has not been like specified. Like, I don't think there's an age. I think I don't know, Aaron. Do you know the
Yeah,
answer to
so
that?
it's a good question. So the issue that starts to happen is when the students are under 13, they have to have parent approval before they're able to log in. So right now, I would say majority are utilizing at the 7th grade level, but it wouldn't be, my understanding is it wouldn't be problematic. They would just have to have parents sign off and approve the account before the student is able to get in. And that's why we've really been focused on 7th grade. Does that sound right, Maya, based on what we've talked about with Brian before?
Yeah, that does sound right. And I know that, there's been some discussion about how when it's for educational purposes, the requirements are a little bit different. Like a school can sign off on behalf of a parent in some cases. So that part is a little gray, yes.
One of the reasons I asked is because we have a student advisory council, but our advisory council starts at 5th grade to 12th grade. So here's a what if we have a meeting, or every summer we're going to have some sort of two-day training or whatever. And what if their school isn't on board, and this is something that we would want to show them, something that they can do until their school comes on board. Would it be long as the parent, because we do work with parents, long as the parent knows, even if their student is a 5th grader, and these are very, very intelligent 5th graders who are in the advisory councils. They are very, very, very mature. Would that be a problem? Oh, wait a minute. So you have grade level here. Are these all of these grade levels working?
Yeah, so I just went to double check what would happen if I tried to register as a 6th grader, and it looks like I have the option to register at any grade level. And I don't know if that's a hiccup or not, or if yeah, so I think I'll bring that back to our development team to ask them to clarify this question, because I can't imagine you're the first person to ask about it. So that I should get some clarity on this for you. But it looks like I could register as a kindergartner if I wanted to.
Look, this is amazing. Love it. Yes, it is AZCIS on steroids so far. Because I used to teach from AZCIS when I taught career exploration. So yes, I'm very excited about this. Much more options.
Yay, great to hear that.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to jump back to my slide deck to just talk a little bit about additional resources. And the Possible Futures curriculum is one of them. It's probably the main one. So I'm going to start there. And I've decided I don't like the order of my slides anymore, so I'm just going to jump around. Sorry, guys.
No problem.
So an education and career action plan is so much more than just, documenting your goals and, looking at a couple careers, right? There's a lot that goes into this process of identifying who you are and what you want to do with your life and what careers align with that. And that was one of the things that was lacking from AZCIS. And one of the things that has not, that isn't quite a part of MyFutureAZ either. MyFutureAZ is really a place where students can explore labor market information and document the work that they're doing to achieve their career goals. But you also need some experiences along the way that really help students to think about who they are, what their skills are, who in their life inspires them, those types of things. And so that's really where lessons and curriculum comes in.
I have a question or a comment just for the people who will be looking at this, because I think we're probably going to post this. Just for the audience, could you explain ECAP and Educational Action Plan? Both of them are the same, but could you just explain that to maybe parents or businesses who don't understand what that is? Because we all want to sing the same song and be able to understand. So could you just give me a quickie on that one right there?
Yeah, definitely, Jacqui. So Education and Career Action Plan, or ECAP for short. Really what it is, it's two things. And it is both a process and a product. The product's a little bit easier to define. The product is the students have identified skills that they have that tie to potential careers. They've also identified career goals that they're really interested in pursuing. And they have identified a career plan that aligns to those goals. So often, education and career action plans are required at the high school level. And so what that can look like is working with your school counselor to determine what CTE or dual enrollment classes you should take to align with that future career that you're looking at, or what extracurricular activities or clubs you could get into that really support those skills and that future for you. At the same time, though, it's also a lot about exposing students to the different careers out there and getting these experiences so that they're informed goals that they're setting. So they're not just saying, hey, I know this guy over there who's a doctor and he drives a really nice car, so I'm going to go be a doctor. You want them to know that there is a wide range of careers in healthcare that are very high paying careers as well. You don't have to be a doctor. And you might be better suited to one of those other careers, right? So ECAPs are kind of two parts, and this slide kind of helps show that one part is, really documenting all of the steps that you've done to figure out what you want your career to be. But the other one is having these experiences. So the Lenses on the Future curriculum is one way to do that. And the Lenses on the Future curriculum, it's designed for students grades 6 through 10 to develop their career identity. And so it's very based in exploration and identifying who they are. So I like my little visual here that, MyFutureAZ and Lenses on the Future together are really what create an ECAP, because it's both an experience, but also it's the documentation of those experiences. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So before I dig too much into the possible futures lessons associated with ECAPs, I just want to tell you about the wider array of lessons. So there's 3 kind of modules that you can think about in possible futures. There's Skills for Success, which is much more about developing professional skills. So communication, collaboration, but also things like growth mindset and self-regulation. They're skills that are very important in the workplace, but also in education. It's part of being a functioning member of a group, of a community, that kind of thing. And then there's going to be our STEMploration units. And there's 4 units in this module. And these 4 units explore 4 different industries. And they're fast growing, high wage industries. So they were picked specifically for those reasons. And they're STEM industries. So there's engineering and design, healthcare, information technology, and then cybersecurity. And cybersecurity was actually developed in partnership with ASU's Global Security Initiative. So it's just a really robust unit. They've got a lot of great resources that they packed into it. But the final module, my favorite, and the one we'll talk about mostly today, is Lenses on the Future. And this is the one that really asks students to reflect on what they've done in their education, where they've gone in their life, and how that informs their future. So I've got, there's 12 lessons in each of those units that I mentioned. And so there's 12 lenses on the future lessons. And each of these ask students to, think about themselves and their future career in a little bit of a different way. They start off with trying to figure out who they are in the self lesson. So they identify their skills, talents. They do that using personality assessments, interest assessments, those types of things. They also develop an alpha biography, a biography about themselves. A mission statement is another part of that. In the security lessons, they're really thinking about like financial security. That's what you can think of with that word security. And those lessons are just, thinking about the investment that you're making in your education and how that pays out in your career. There's even one lesson in here, keeping it real, where students create like a plan for their future, essentially. So they pick a career, they pick some lifestyle preferences, like what kind of car they would drive or like transportation, and where they'd want to live, what kind of leisure activities they would do. And then at the end of the lesson, they add it all up and they check and see if the career that they picked could support the lifestyle that they're thinking about. And so that's one of those really interesting lessons that students, I've actually heard, have done more than once and found it very useful, even the second or third time.
Oh, that's equivalent to the reality check in AZCIS, right?
Yes, yeah, that's right. I've heard that. I'd forgotten about that.
Usually it humbles a student. I always tell parents to do it with their students, because then they'll stop saying, well, I'm going to leave home and I'm going to do this and this and that. They do that right there and they figure out, whoa, I think I better be nice, because I might have to stay home for just a little bit longer than what I thought, So I look forward to checking that one out. That's awesome. Love it.
Oh, I love to hear that. That's great. And then the last like a section you see here, society. These lessons really ask students to start to think about their role in their community, the impact they want to have, and what their personal values are. They start thinking about their brand, how the world sees them, how they present themselves. And then a final culminating reflection project as well, which is really important and really ties into that ECAP, right? Because it's not just the experience and it's not just the documentation, it's putting it all together. And so you do that right there in that last lesson. All right, and now I know we're kind of coming up on time, so I just want to share 3 more slides, and I'll go through these really quickly.
Before you are fine with time, okay? Before you go on, how long is each of those lessons, the lenses on the future? Around how long does it take to do one lesson?
That's a great question. So we designed them to take about 45 minutes. And for these lessons, okay, I think that's about it. You might be able to stretch it out to about 60 minutes. There's a lot of reflection questions in there that do not require a response, but if they're guided, instructors might choose to, do something with them, like, some sort of like think, pair, share sort of cooperative learning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome. All right. And all of the lessons from the other units as well were designed to be 45 minutes. And I'm more than happy to go into more detail about those, probably at another session or something. But
okay.
Awesome. So my last 3 slides I wanted to share with you were just a sample ECAP implementation plan, because Possible Futures and MyFutureAZ just fit in really well with Arizona's Education and Career Action Plan requirements. There's 3 parts to an ECAP. You'll probably recognize this from AZCIS. The who am I comes first. And so I've got a collection of lessons here that align with that first stage. I've got some ECAP tasks. And then there's often other things that happen in the classroom or in programs related to this, like vision boards is something that I've seen in the who am I stage. Next is the where am I going? So students start to identify some specifics in their education and career action planning. I've got some lessons here, and then the MyFutureAZ tasks as well. This is where we recommend start exploring and saving careers that you're interested in, record your education and career goals. And then I'll just mention to you guys really quickly, I'll share the slide deck with you. Each of these lessons is hyperlinked so that you can go and preview them right away. This is not the complete lesson. Each lesson has both like this digital version, but also a facilitator guide. So you can preview it here, and I can set you up with what you need to access the full suite of curriculum and get that facilitator guide.
I would really appreciate it. I'm excited about this. I'm 100% yes.
Awesome. Yep. I'm going to make a note so I do it this afternoon. Perfect. And then the last ECAP step, which is how do I get there? So students now start to figure out exactly what to do in order to achieve those career goals, identify post-secondary programs, maybe even start to apply for them, get entry-level positions, jobs, those types of things. And so I've got some ideas as to what to do in MyFutureAZ, as well as the lessons that align to this part of the ECAP. Awesome. And that is everything I have for you guys today.
Maya's just amazing, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Thank you very much, Maya.
And I think really what
A lot.
what she does a really nice job of, or at least, well, I think the coupling of the curriculum with the MyFutureAZ does is what Maya has really shown is how can you have an effective ECAP program. The cool thing about MyFutureAZ now being able to be delivered down at the middle grades level is that ECAP will follow the student then into high school. And if they switch schools, it can go with them, all of that kind of stuff, follows right along with that. So I think, really thinking about not just students in the academy, but then also students, in the community that, may have that kind of an experience. I think the thing I really like about it is it really empowers the student because they really own that MyFutureAZ account. Yes. It's not stuck with the school. So as they move, it goes with them. All of those resources do it as well, which is really exciting. And then as you were talking, Ben, I think for students that you work with, again, that feeling of empowerment that they really own it and that then they really take ownership and control over their own, career exploration journey. And then the nice thing is the lenses on the future curriculum, I think, gives them the tools and the skills to be able to assume that responsibility. So we're just really excited about it and excited about being able to bring it to Cochise and such. So what questions do you have for us? And I know I've got to stop at 2:30. Maya and I do both. We have a staff meeting, but what questions can we answer and making sure we've got some next steps as well, Jacqui?
Okay, one question is, may I have your presentation just so that I can take a couple of slides out of it? Or maybe I'd like to post that with what we've done today. I'm just going to take just the middle out where you're talking. Okay. I'd like that. I will tell you ASAP, we're going to build this into our websites. We have 2, because what we like is that the student is taking control of it. If they're not waiting for the teachers or the school to say, this is what we're going to do. That's the power right there. And that's where me and Ben and I can be an influence to the county. Right. We can tell the community, hey, your teachers are looking into this, but listen, while they are, if you want to start on it, let's do that. I would also like to schedule Maya to do a presentation like this for the Douglas Education Council.
Perfect.
Okay, and that's going to be, they're an amazing group and very, very proactive with their students. And these are businesses and educators, community that's working together. So I guess our next steps would be, I would go ahead and contact you as far as the Douglas, but how can we get an account? Like Ben would be the admin, and then Ben would give me a certain privileges so that I can do almost the same thing that he does, so I can look at the kids, You know, I would also like to have a regular student account, and I'd like to have like an admin account with Ben so that I can do some playing around with stuff. But we would like to promote this ASAP.
Yeah, definitely, Jacqui. I can send you a document with steps on how to register as a school. I just went to one of ADE's training, like webinar things on this, and Amanda gave us just a phenomenal step-by-step process on how to get onboarded. So I'll send that to you, but it also includes some demo accounts, like all of the login information for each account type, so that you can go in there, see what the person in that level can do and play around with it like that.
That would be great. So I know you have to go, but last question. Can we put myfutureaz.pipelineaz.com on our website and invite our community to click on there and take a look around?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. I mean,
I think so. If they go to the ADE website, it points them to that already. So
yeah, it's all over ADE's
yeah, it's all
ECAP
public.
website.
Yeah, it's all over the ADE. Yeah,
absolutely. But what
makes it easier for them.
It's going to go.
No, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's all publicly out there. So I think you're okay to do that.
Okay,
absolutely.
got it. Got it.
Yep. And then the other thing, so then my follow-up is I'm going to email David and Elizabeth with Grad Solutions so that we can set up a demo on the curriculum itself, because that's really, my understanding is the curriculum really would reside within Edgenuity for the students to be able to access. Does that sound right?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
if they choose not to, which they will, because I've already talked to them.
Yeah, they will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, they know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and teach our 500 and something students. Okay. Yeah. And they're going to take that, and that's going to be the ECAP. But I really believe that Grad Solution want to be, on with what's going on, in education.
Yeah.
So they're really
perfect.
I think we're good.
Great. Yeah, no, I'm not too worried about it. David was really interested and they would like to create it. We chatted a little bit about them creating it. So, Maya, as well as a half credit career exploration course.
That's what we want.
Because then they can make it available to their 3,000 students statewide.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, exactly. I mean, so they're providing a lot of services, Maricopa County as well, Maya. So, I know I haven't been able to give you a lot of the information, but we talked specifically about that because it can be loaded, should be able to be loaded right into Edgenuity. And so they should be able to use it that way.
Awesome.
So that's the goal. So I'll follow up with them, and then we'll huddle back up in the next few weeks to make sure that's progressing.
Absolutely. So what we'll do, we'll look for Maya to send us the PowerPoints. We want to go ahead and set something up this summer.
Great.
For the community.
Great.
And Maya, Aaron, you two said that you would also be presenting at our conference.
Yep.
On the 20th of January.
Yep.
Then would you please send them the form so they can fill it out?
Absolutely.
So we'd have that on record.
We'll look forward to it. All right, great. We'll be back in touch in the next few weeks, Maya, sooner than that with the follow-up info.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Great to see you both.
Excited.
Great to meet you.
Have a nice
It was
week.
great to meet you all. Thank you so
Bye
much
now.
for your time.
Okay, that's two things I've done today that I love. One was with the other lady with the mental health stuff. This is logistic wise, we have to do very, very little. That's how it should be. We do very little and we start putting it on our websites. So when she sends, could you just sometime next week, just put a tab, My Future Arizona, I think you have opportunities for students, but since it's new, you also put it on the splash page. You put it on and that stays on there for maybe a couple of months.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, say this is, and we will put the slide deck, and let me go ahead and turn this off because I'm going to have to edit it. Let me turn off the record. recording. Here is my. Okay.